Hey, everybody, and welcome to an all-new Awkward Teenage Years. How are we doing? How's everybody out there? Staying safe, staying well, getting those vaccines? I really hope you are. Uh, anyway, thank you all for joining us. This is Awkward Teenage Years, and you're here for a very special night. This is what I like to call our one-year streamiversary, because it has been just over a year that we have been doing this show online. When we first got together, we did this as a live in-person show back in February of 2020 at the Frigid Fest here in New York. It was a great experience. We thought, hey, we were off to a great start. Let's see where we take it next. And then the world collapsed around us. But thanks to Will, my wonderful co-producer, he had the idea of everyone's taking their shows online. Let's see if this has some legs on there. And now we have successfully pulled this off for an entire year, thanks to our viewers out there and our amazing guests that we've had on. And we thought tonight that we would like to celebrate by basically just kind of doing the same thing we always do. I don't know what to tell you. It's we're all COVID burned out. We're doing the best we can. But tonight, for those who are new, this is a storytelling show. You're about to watch our wonderful lineup of guests tonight share true stories from their middle school and high school years. These are stories about bullies, sports, first dates, school crushes, and ultimately about coming of age. So let's get a shot here of our amazing group that we have in the lineup tonight. Let's see, are we all, there we are. Wave, everybody. Let them see your beautiful faces. Our amazing lineup that includes not one, not two, but three white guys in glasses. It's going to be great. So without further ado, let's get this show started. And we're starting with one of our favorite guests that we've ever had on. He's a big name here on the show tonight. Our first guest is a 20-time Moth Story Slam winner. He teaches storytelling at the Magnet Theater, which is where many of us learned how to do this in the first place. And he has released 2 comedy albums and an Audible original called You Ought to Know Adam Wade, which is now currently free to Audible members through the Premium Plus catalog. It's amazing. He's amazing. We love this man. Give it up for Adam Wade.
How are we doing? That was a wonderful intro, Grant, and I'm very appreciative. You did a great job, and it's wonderful to be on the show. I really want to wish you, Will, Anastasia, a very happy 1-year anniversary. I know you put a lot of work into this show over the years and over this year, and you've kept it going. So my story tonight, I want to talk about, I'm going to put myself, I see myself, this is part of the Zoom. I want to look at you guys and wait. So, yeah, let me just see. Can I just get rid of me? That would be great. Hide self view. Perfect. So now I don't have to look. I'm losing my hair. I'm getting zits at 40 something. So not being able to see me is a great way to start the show. So when I was 5 years old, I grew up in New Hampshire, and we went on a summer vacation to Hampton Beach, New Hampshire, which was about a 45-minute drive from where I grew up. I grew up in central New Hampshire, Manchester, and it was going to the beach was pretty boring for me. I always, I didn't like getting a lot of sun, and I had a hard time entertaining myself. So the first night we went out to eat, and then we went to this place called Mrs. Mitchell's Gift Shop. And I went in there, and there was a discount bin, and I looked, and there was a little captain, sea captain, and he had a little captain hat on. He had a little white beard and a little black pipe, and I fell in love. It was about 5-6 inches, and I told my mom, "Can I buy this?" And it was like $2-3, and my mom's like, "Sure." My mom never said sure for that kind of thing, so she was like, "Sure." I was like, "Okay, this is good." Probably because I was whining all day and she didn't want me to continue to whine. So I won. And the whole week, the rest of the week changed. I was very much entertained. It was a great investment for my mom. because I was entertained the whole time with this thing. Everywhere we went, at the beach under the umbrella, I was with it. I didn't like going toward the water because sharks in New Hampshire, a lot of sharks. But then also going to the ice cream, going to the little hat show where they had like Elvis impersonators. It was just me and Captain Charles, and it was fun. I just enjoyed being with them, and he brought me a lot of comfort that week. So we go home, and a little thing, when I was 5 years old, I was afraid of the dark. I don't know about you, but I was afraid of the dark. When I was 3, I have an older brother, and he showed me the movies. I went to the movies, old school movies, on a VHS from the video store. We saw Dracula, Frankenstein, and the Wolfman, and they scared me. And after that, I was always afraid that they were going to come into my room and take me. And so I always had a hard time sleeping. My mom would come in and check on me like hourly. I had about 4 night lights. I mean, it was bright. It was like a movie premiere in my room at night, but I was afraid. But now with Captain Charles, put him on the little nightstand next to my bed, and he was there for me. And like before I'd go to bed, I was still in a little panic, but then I would think of us, hunting and looking for whales, playing mini golf, because I like to play mini golf, and then getting little hot dogs. I liked hot dogs. So Captain Charles and those were the dreams that I had, and it calmed me down, and I would fall asleep each night. So we get to, my early teen years. Not a popular kid. Like I said, I mean, I went to bed next to a 6-inch, 5-inch little captain statue, wooden captain. So things weren't good, and I got picked on a lot. And when I would go home, I looked forward to just laying on my bed next to Captain Charles, telling him about my day, and then thinking about us hunting whales, going to get hot dogs, going to play mini golf. And it always centered me. I didn't know meditation or Zen stuff, but that's what centered me. And it got me through those days. I'm in 7th grade, and my teacher had an assignment in English. Who is your best friend? Write an essay on who your best friend is. So I didn't have to think twice. I didn't have to think a second. I just started writing about Captain Charles. Did I tell you it was Captain Charles that I called him Captain Charles? Yeah, okay, good. I just want to make sure. So Captain Charles, I wrote about him, and then the teacher surprised us, and I was like a shy kid. She's like, okay, now we're going to have you come up and read them. And for me, again, very shy kid, but I was like, I'm talking about Captain Charles. Like, I'm brave. I'm talking about my best friend. So confidently, I walk in front of the class, and I start reading about Captain Charles. And I was not expecting them to laugh, and they just kept laughing and laughing. And there's 2 kinds of laughs, like laughing with you and laughing at you. And it was the more the laughing at you, and it really hit me hard. I might look tough now on the exterior, but I wasn't, and I'm not now, and I wasn't then. So I went home, and I was just really like on the verge of crying all day. I'm not going to say I cried. Maybe I did, but I'll just say I was on the verge, okay, to act a little tough. I got home, and I looked at little Captain Charles, and he was looking at me like he always did, greeting me. And I took him, and I opened up the drawer to the nightstand, dropped him like a mic drop, and then I shut the drawer. And that was it. That was it for the next couple of weeks. Never opened him, never wanted to look at him. And then we had a yard sale. My Aunt Dee Dee used to have a yard sale on the front lawn. I'm Greek. If you've ever seen my big fat Greek wedding, we didn't have weddings. Well, we did later. We had many. But we had yard sales. We had yard sales on the lawn. And we would have yard sales on the lawn. So I got all my stuff. I got my old comic books. I got like my old baseball cards that weren't good. And that night I took Captain Charles, and we brought him over. And in the morning I set everything up. And it was weird. Like, I don't know about if you know about yard sales, but in New Hampshire, there's like the early bird gets the worm. All these cars showed up. We're still setting up. We're not ready yet. We're not ready, but they want to get the deals. They want to get the deals of used crap. Okay. So this guy in a Boston Patriot hat, I always thought it was New England Patriots. He had a Boston Patriot hat. He came over, he sees that Captain Charles. Captain Charles is looking at him. Poor Captain Charles. He goes, I want that. How much? And I go, 50 cents. He goes, I'll give you 10 cents. I go, quarter. He goes, how about 15 cents? Deal. So I got 15 cents. He took it, and he was just walking. He plucked it, and he was walking. He walks by my mother, who's still folding her sweaters. And my mother's shocked. And my mother's like, Captain Charles? You're going to let him take Captain Charles? I go, Ma, I got 15 cents. I'm all right. I'm a big boy now. I don't need Captain Charles. And she was impressed. But it was a lie. It was a lie. It wasn't true. I needed him. And once I knew he was gone and that Mr. Boston Patriots got in his car, he was a creepy guy. He drove off with my little statue of a captain. It hit me. It hit me hard. And like, it didn't go away. You know, when it hits you and it doesn't go away. Uncle George, shout out to Uncle George. He's a great guy. Rest in peace. He came with the donuts from Dunkin' Donuts and coffee. I just wanted the donuts, no coffee. I had my chocolate frosted. I was eating it, enjoying it, but not as much as I was enjoying. Like, you know, I was supposed to really enjoy it and be comforted now, but all of a sudden taking over was, what did you do to Captain Charles? And I couldn't even finish the donut. That was the only donut in my life I've never finished. I couldn't finish the donut. And because I had that guilt, and then I just kind of kept it in. I never talked about it. And 3 years ago, again, I'm in my 40s now, 3 years ago. So that's a long time. That's a long time to hold something in. And we're driving at the beach. My mom and I are driving. I'm driving. She's a good backseat driver. What are you doing? Come on, just let me drive, Ma. And we go by Mrs. Mitchell's, and she's like, Mrs. Mitchell's, remember Captain Charles? And like, oh, man, don't go there. So, but my mom's clawing away about Captain Charles, and I felt like it's been almost 30 years, tell her. So I explained what happened and why I sold Captain Charles. And my mom is like a strong woman. I'm going to say that. My mom's a strong woman. But I could see the tears. Her eyes like were really teary when I was telling her. And I was kind of crying too. And I'm at the beach. And of all places, I'm at the beach. You got the sea breeze. And I'm just thinking about the mini golf. I'm thinking about, you know, the Elvis impersonators were us trying to go look for whales. And 3 months later, I'm back in Hoboken, New Jersey, where I live, in my above ground apartment. I've had many basement apartments, but I was in my above ground apartment. And I go down to get my mail, and there's a little box. So it's like a box this size, and it's thin. And I bring it up to my apartment, and I open it up. The new Captain Charles, big cat. He's 11 inches. He's bigger. My mom sent me Captain Charles. My mom sent me Captain Charles. Is he on my nightstand near my bedroom, ladies? Absolutely. You got a problem with it? That's fine. That's fine. We're not meant to be. We're not meant to be. Because Captain Charles is right by the bed. He's there. He's got his pipe. He's not smoking, though. It's not real tobacco, his lungs. And he knows I'm asthmatic, too, so he's polite. But so, yeah. So Captain Charles, he's here. And I'll tell you right now, there's many things I'll sell in my life. Marie Kondo. I ain't getting rid. This brings me joy. This brings me joy. This brings me joy. And if you're judging, I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care.
Oh,
yes.
man. Wow.
That was great.
Hey,
Captain Charles
Captain
will get you
Charles.
high tonight.
Captain Charles.
Amazing. Not since Woody and Buzz have I been so invested in the future of a toy in your bedroom.
thank you, Grant. You said thank you. You said thank you.
Oh, that's nice. That's
Really
nice.
glad you enjoyed the story, guys. Yeah.
We're very honored to have Captain Charles on the show tonight, and honored to have.
Said happy 1 year anniversary too.
What was that?
Said happy 1 year anniversary.
Oh, thank you. Oh man.
When we talked
Adam,
about getting Captain Charles on the show.
Yeah, I was about to say, does he take
Available.
booking?
He's available.
Oh,
Are
good.
you his manager?
Yeah,
Okay, great.
10%. 10%.
All right. Well, I would ask Captain Charles to stay, but I know that you are about to have to go do another show. Adam Wade is in high demand, everybody.
Ooh.
So, Adam, let
I'm
people.
in high demand on April 15th, 2000.
Adam only performs on tax day, everybody. So, or normal tax day. But where can people find you? Where can people? I know everyone just went pale just now when I mentioned taxes. But where can people find you? Where can they follow you? How can people find out more about Adam Wade?
Sure, adamwade.com. I need the hits. I've got a nice site. And also Adam Wade Storyteller on YouTube and Adam Wade Storyteller on the Instagram, and then Adam Wade at Twitter.
Nice. Very nice.
Wait.
Yeah, hey, you know,
Adam, thank you for coming.
Hey, I don't look like the hippest guy in the world. I'm kind of.
I will say, since I have known you, which I know has only been for a couple of years, but I will say you have incrementally looked a little tougher and tougher. So I think you're pulling it off.
Grant, nothing against Will and Ed. You're my favorite host of this show with that comment.
And that's all. All right. Thank you, Adam. We don't want to keep you too long. We appreciate you. You're welcome back anytime.
Have a great rest of the show, everybody.
Will do.
Woo.
Thank you, Adam. All right. Let's keep the show going. Our next storyteller is one of the big three. In fact, I would dare say I like to say he's the father of this here brainchild. I remember, what was it? Okay, it's been over a year now when I saw you post. It's like, does anyone have ideas? Does anyone have teen stories? I have an idea for a show. And I responded, and the rest is history. He is a filmmaker and a storyteller living out in New Jersey. He's told stories on The Moth, on Nights of Our Lives, on Replay Storytelling. Your friend and mine, give it up for Will Clegg.
All right, thanks, Grant. I'm not out in New Jersey. You know, I'm like 2 miles away from you. You're in Manhattan. I'm in Jersey City. I don't want people to think I live like out in the sticks somewhere or something.
I don't know Jersey geography.
All right. All right. Thanks for watching, everybody. My senior year of high school, September, beginning of the year, it's a stressful time. You know, you're applying to colleges, got to keep the grades up, just the general stress of like trying to figure out how you're going to go out into the world after graduating high school, right? So my high school decided to take everybody on a class trip to the beach for a few days, right at the beginning of the school year. This is meant to be a time to just kind of relax, you know, enjoy each other's company a little bit, and also do some planning for the year to come. All the events that are happening around graduation, those are all planned by the students. And so we go to this beach in North Carolina where I grew up, and I decided to join the committee to plan baccalaureate. Now, if you didn't have baccalaureate at your high school, what it is like a week before graduation, you have this ceremony. It's usually like non-denominational, kind of vaguely religious, spiritual ceremony that, you know, it's like a moment to reflect on everyone's spirituality as they move out into the world as adults. And it's a pretty easy committee. You know, where I grew up, everybody's Christian. And so we have it in a church. That's the deal. Our school, officially non-denominational, but like everybody was Christian, but not me. I'd grown up as a Catholic. My family was Catholic. I was a good Catholic boy growing up. I went to Sunday school, went to church, but I remember being about 7 years old, and I suddenly like realized, like, I don't think I believe this stuff that they say every week. Like, I don't know if I buy that, like, Jesus is the Son of God, and there's this one God, and he looks like a white man, and like I don't know, it all didn't add up to me, you know. And so this little seed of doubt starts to grow, and as I get older and older into my teen years, I really like reject all of it. I can't summon up the courage to tell my parents and the rest of the people in my church community that, but I just know that I don't believe in any of it. And then when I'm 15, I start the confirmation process. And confirmation is where you stand up in front of the church and you say, you know, I believe this stuff. I want to be an adult now, a part of the church community, right? Your parents say that for you at baptism, and you say it for yourself in confirmation. And I didn't want to do it. It just felt wrong to me to stand up and lie and say that I believe these things that I definitely didn't believe. I didn't know what I believed exactly, but I knew that it wasn't this stuff. And so I finally told my parents, you know, like, I don't believe any of this. And I don't want to be confirmed. And I guess I thought that would be the end of it, but really, you know, they couldn't wrap their heads around it. And so they really, really wanted me to continue to go to Sunday school, continue to go to church, and find my way back to the faith. And the more they made me do it, the less I wanted to do it. And then I realized that at Sunday school, there's no like system of punishment. It's not real school. There's no grades, you know? So if you don't want to be there, you don't really have to be. So I would just sit there until they called the roll. And then when they said my name, I would raise my hand, and I would stand up and I would just walk out. And the teacher's like, "Where are you going?" And I'm like, "Look, I'm going to sit in the lobby for the next hour. I don't want to be here." And they're like, "We'll tell your parents." I'm like, "Good, call them. They already know. So have fun." And then I would sit in the lobby for an hour, and my parents would come pick me up, fuming, every week. And it didn't get any better. And when confirmation time rolled around, I was holding firm, and they sent me to remedial Sunday school, which I didn't even know was a thing. It wasn't even on Sunday or in a school. It was just like at somebody's house. It's supposed to be more casual. You could sit around, talk about your feelings about everything. Didn't change it for me. I didn't do it. And it broke my mom's heart, to be honest. But I just couldn't bring myself to stand up there and lie. And so then I really leaned into being a non-believer. Like I started to learn about all these other religions all over the world, like Judaism and Islam and Buddhism and Taoism and anything I get my hands on. I didn't want to participate in any of these things, just to be clear. Like I just wanted to know about them because there were billions of people in the world who all believe different things. So who's to say that these group of people around me have the right one, So I keep learning, and I just become this kind of like fervent anti-believer, and now that's why I'm at this baccalaureate meeting, not to actually like help this process along and be in a church again, but to derail it. So when my friend Trey, who's the class secretary, stands up to lead this meeting, we're all seated in a circle on top of this old concrete Civil War bunker right next to the sea. It's very serene and quiet, and it's an easy committee. We're just going to pick the venue, pick the church, and that's it. That's all we have to do. We have the rest of the day off, right? And so Trey is like, "All right, so what are we going to do?" And I just raise my hand and say, "Could it not be in a church?" A simple question, right? But I mean, everybody just blows their top, which is exactly what I wanted. And Trey just looks back and he's like, "Man, are you serious?" And someone else says, "Well, I mean, it's tradition. We always have it in a church." And someone else says, "Everybody here is Christian except for a couple of people. Like, what's the big deal?" And then the chorus just starts going crazy, and I'm an instant pariah, and it's perfect. It's just absolutely perfect. And I heard later that a girl was crying about it, which is maybe more than I had bargained for. But I had teachers taking me aside after the meeting, asking me what's wrong with me, like, why am I doing this? And then there's some blowback. I was never Mr. Popularity, but after this trip, like now some of my peers are like actively shunning me because of this, which is a more extreme reaction than I expected. And I even wrote my college application essay about this experience. And I brought it tonight because my mom found it recently, and it's really something. I decided to really play up me being a victim in this situation, so I just want to read you one excerpt. "I feel the pain of Hester Prynne in Nathaniel Hawthorne's The Scarlet Letter, as she was forced to stand in front of her neighbors and friends wearing the sign of adultery. My crime? I simply stood up for something in which I believe, or didn't believe, I also compare myself in this essay to Democritus, the Greek philosopher who discovered that the world was made up of atoms and everybody told him he was crazy. I had a very healthy ego my senior year of high school. But then at the end of the essay, I decided I'm going to be the hero, actually. I'm going to be the bigger person. I'm going to sit down and listen to my peers, and we're going to come together to make this great ceremony that's going to represent everybody's worldviews. And it's like going to be this harmonious thing in the end. But of course, that's not what happened, because nobody cared that I didn't want it to be in a church. And I had good reason. I mean, there was a friend of mine who was Jewish the year before, and he had to go to this as a mandatory event. And he felt deeply uncomfortable being at this Christian service that he had to go to. And so I tried to argue that point, but they ultimately just kicked me off the committee and did their own thing anyway. So that May, I'm sitting there in church, grumbling, my arms crossed, refusing to participate in anything going on as the Baptist minister gives the sermon and all the readings are from the Bible. And it's just like it's always been. And I imagine 20 years later, it's probably still the way that they do it down there. And looking back, I realized like, I wasn't really like trying to make it a more open ceremony. I didn't want there to be a ceremony, because church is more than just a faith, right? It's a community. And I had excommunicated myself from that community, and I felt left out, and it sucked. So I didn't want it to happen if I couldn't be a part of it. But there is a little bit of a silver lining to this, because that baccalaureate was the last time that anybody could force me to go to church. Because just a few short months later, I was going to be heading off to New York City to go to college. Somehow they accepted me after reading this terrible essay, and I would find a community of my own. Thank you.
Very nice. I have to tell you, after a year of doing these shows, even longer of knowing you and seeing you tell stories at other shows, that admissions essay is probably the greatest thing you've ever shared. Just in terms of sheer embarrassing teen ego.
Yeah.
It's mwah.
I like to think they don't really care so much about the content of the essay, as long as you can make a persuasive argument and communicate clearly, because I imagine they're reading it going like, oh, this kid is a real prick.
Yeah. Yep. Pretty much.
I'm sure you are not alone. It's like, oh, great, another one from a white kid calling himself a victim. That's great.
Yeah.
It's like if you were wondering if Will is white, like that really just
didn't have to include a picture.
Yeah.
No, we can tell. We got it.
Oh, man. So embarrassing.
This is the clue.
Yeah.
I will say I've been checking the Twitch chat periodically, and I think there's a handful of people who are surprised about remedial Sunday school.
Oh, yeah, I know. Well, it wasn't like an official thing, you know. It was just like where they took like the small group of us who misbehaved constantly and didn't want to be a part of the church. And so they tried to make it into like a way to bring us back, but there's no bring.
You've been bad at church. Go to this guy's house.
Yeah.
Like a parent of one.
So what did they do at it? Did they try to like brainwash you into it, like show you the good parts of church?
They tried to like listen to why we didn't want to be there anymore, and then like counsel us back from that point. But I mean,
so it was like therapy. It was like,
yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
It was like therapy only with the Bible.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Okay. Well, Will, where can people find you? You got anything you want to plug?
I don't really have anything to plug. On social media, I'm on Instagram. I just changed my name there. I'm _Will Clegg _. And then on Twitter, I'm at Will Clegg. And I don't really have anything else coming up unless you want to hear this exact same story again later tonight. I'll be telling it on a different show.
Yeah.
But,
Will also has to go to another show, only unlike some people, because now he's gone. No.
Yeah, I'll stick around till the end of this one before I...
Okay, cool. What would you like to take us into the next segment?
Yes. So let me tell everybody a little bit about a couple of theaters that... let me bring the graphic up here. A couple of theaters that we support. So where we got our start was at Frigid, New York, which was a fringe festival that happened right before the pandemic started. Grant, Anastasia, and I, as he mentioned before, performed. And it's a great theater, group of theaters, the Crane Theater and the Under St. Mark's Theater. And so we really would love it if you can support them in any way, whether that's just following them on social media, or if you are able to donate, you can go to venmo.com/frigidnewyork or patreon.com/frigidnewyork. Grant and I, and Anastasia too, I think are all patrons of their Patreon. And they've just started doing live shows again. They did one sold out, all 22 seats that they're allowed to have on Friday, April 2nd. They're going to have more live content coming soon. They're live streaming the content also because they can't have that many people in the theater. Just a great place. Please support if you can. And the other is the Magnet Theater, where all of us took storytelling classes from Adam Wade. Like a lot of other theaters, they're having a really tough time during this pandemic, but they're still there and they're still doing classes. So if you want to learn storytelling or improv, it's a great place to go. They do live shows all the time. In fact, the one that Adam just went to and I'm doing tonight is on their Twitch, twitch.tv/The Magnet Theater. They're at Magnet Theater on social media. And if you go to their website, magnettheater.com, and click on the virtual shows banner, you could donate there.
All right, that's how a mute button works. All right, thank you so much, Will. Yes, please support Frigid, please support Magnet. I know we're hitting the other side where live venues are starting to open up again, but they could still really use your support to keep the doors open. So moving on to our next storyteller, another one of the big three is making her triumphant return. She did and helped, she helped us co-produce and performed with us when we did the Frigid Fest. She had to follow her own path for a bit, but now tonight, descending, gracing us with her presence again, we are thrilled. You know what? The queen of the intros, because she was always excellent at introducing people. So I'm going to try to give you an authentic replication here. The great Anastassiya Maximenko.
Woo, woo, woo. Hello, everyone. Really, really nice to be back. Let me just begin my story. So I'll be 15 soon, and I still have no boyfriend. So today's the day. I going out with a boy. His name is Ruslan, and so far we were hanging out in a group of friends. His friend, and me and my girlfriend. But today he said his friend couldn't go, so I called my girlfriend and said, "Let's stay home." And now we're going out together. And Ruslan is really, really nice guy, and I can see that he really likes me. And I like that in him, that he likes me. And even though Ruslan he's not that handsome, he's not ideal, but like all this pressure from outside of everyone having relationship and kissing. And I kissed the last time that boy in the preschool. So, I can't wait. I have to have a boyfriend. So I was settling with Ruslan. Plus, he's nice, he's funny, he's a really nice guy. And today he asked me go out. So he's coming to pick me up. So I'm putting on my best clothes, of course, and we go out. So going out consists of going on a walk in our town, and it's a very small town, and it's like going around and saying hello to all the teen groups that's sitting on the benches. And it's very important for me because now people see us together, and people will know that we are boyfriend and girlfriend. And that little walk ends in the stairs of the building. So basically, in our town, there's a bunch of identical 5-story buildings. An entire youth of the town, because there's nothing to do, they hanging out on those stairs inside the building. Some of them smoking, some of them drinking, since you cannot do it out in the open. But we are going to hang out and probably kissing. So I'm excited. So we're going back, we're entering my building, and I live on the 4th floor. And we decided to just hang out a little bit more on the stairs between the 4th floor and the 5th floor of my building, because on the 5th floor, someone always stealing light bulbs, and it's always dark. So dark, even better, for tonight. So we entering the building, we're going to the 4th floor, chit-chatting about something unimportant. And here I'm standing on the 1st flight of the stairs, turning back to Ruslan and saying something sweet and waiting for this, time to come so that we can kiss and make up. But that moment, like some movement caught my eye. And like I started to look, and basically on the 2nd flight of the stairs that actually go to the 5th floor, I can see someone sitting on the stairs in something white. So I go out and I actually looking even closer, and I actually see my father sitting on the stairs in a hospital gown. So he ran away from the hospital. 2 days ago, he was admitted there by police when they found him laying down on the street somewhere, completely drunk. And he was so drunk that he threw up, he shitted all over himself. So, and he was so drunk that they had to bring him to the hospital to revive him because like his body shut down from the in all this, alcohol in his body. So they got him to the doctors, and now he's sitting here on the stairs. And I'm looking at him and I'm so angry. First of all, because he's interrupting my kiss. Second of all, because when basically doctors were reviving him, nurses refused to wash him. So they called me and my mom to come to wash him and take all his dirty clothes home. That is why he's in the gown, because he had no clothes. And I'm also angry because I'm embarrassed. And I think right away, Ruslan is not gonna be my boyfriend. He's not gonna, date the girl of such a drunk. But like all these thoughts go away when he starts to speak, because he's talking gibberish, like sentences don't make sense. And I'm terrified because something is clearly happening to him. So it turned out that while he was in the hospital, they gave him very strong drug to have all these intoxication just like washed away from his body. So that drug made him delirious. That's why he basically he woke up in the hospital not knowing what's happening. He just ran away. And I'm trying to pick him up and say, okay, Dad, are you okay? Let's go home. And I'm really embarrassed. I just don't want Ruslan to see me, to see him. But Ruslan is actually going right away to my dad, and he's trying to pick him up, and he carries him over the stairs down. I've opened because basically he came home when he ran away from the hospital. He came home, nobody's home, and he didn't have any keys or anything. So I'm opening the door, and Ruslan is carrying him inside the apartment. And try to make him comfortable, and he's saying it's going to be okay, it's going to be fine, just lay down. And he helps me to put my dad down on the couch. So and I attack my dad with a blanket, and I'm saying to Ruslan, I'm so sorry. I feel so embarrassed. I'm so sorry this happened. And everything went so well tonight. And he was just saying, don't worry, it's all okay. These things happen, everything's fine. And he just kissed me. And then he was kissing me for next 2 years while he was my boyfriend. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yay. Happy
Aww.
ending. It ends up being quite the romantic story. It takes you like on a roller coaster, but it does end in a very sweet place where two people kiss.
Yeah, I think that situation actually made us girlfriend and boyfriend for this few years. It actually helped. That's why I said my dad too. I'm okay, man.
Well, no, I can imagine two people bonding over an experience like that and everything. Happy to have you back. Happy to see you're still rocking the plants in the background.
Oh yeah, my babies are growing all over.
Oh man. Well, Anastasia, what have you been up to? Have you got anything coming up or?
No, busy school, work, school, home. So no, nothing's coming up. Hopefully you'll call me again to this show so I can tell some more stories. But for now, nothing.
Oh yeah, we'll keep the light on for you. Don't worry.
Okay.
Thank you. Let's give it up one more time for Anastasia.
Yeah.
Anastassiya Maximenko. All right. I'm losing my mind. So let's keep the ball rolling here. Our next guest has performed at The Moth and at Adam White Storytelling Series. He is an actuary living here in New York. He loves bird watching and the Magnet Theater, where he's taken over 25 improv classes and cannot wait to sign up for more. He's a big old sweetheart. Can't wait for you to meet him. Please welcome Phil Sugar.
Thank you. I think it's more like 30 improv classes. Leah Baker was in my 8th grade class, and she was adorable. She had this smirky smile. She looked like the Mona Lisa. And in fact, I couldn't wait to tell my mom about her. I said, hey, Mom, there's a girl named Leah in my class. I like her. And I'm waiting for her to ask what she looks like so I can use that Mona Lisa line. But instead, my mom goes, does she know you're alive? All right, before you start going, oh my God, your mom is so mean, I have to admit a few things to you. All right, it's true. Some of my crushes didn't know I was alive. All right, most of them didn't know I was alive. I'll admit it. But Leah was different. She was in my French class, so she knew me. And I noticed, and that was the plan. You see, I noticed she was always at French class early. So what I would do is during the day, I'd think of a question about the homework. And then I'd get to class early and I'd have a few minutes to ask her. Well, it would have been a good plan. The only problem was every time I'd get to class early, she'd be there, but she'd be sleeping. She'd be like this at her desk. And now she's sleeping. I'm standing there like a dope with my homework question, which I didn't even have to ask. I was a straight A French student, but this is the only time I could talk to her. I was too shy to talk to her in the hall. She's always talking to her friends. So it had to be now. So finally I'd wake her up somehow. I'd summon the courage and I'd go, Leah? And then she was really sweet to me. She was always really sweet. She'd say, oh, hi, Philip. And then I'd ask her about the homework and she'd say she procrastinated. Procrastinate, like that. That's how she said it. So cute. And just 2 minutes talking to her like this, and I was on air for the rest of the day. I mean, I would think of her while I played the piano. I'd make little origami ornaments with her name inside and hang them up in my room. I mean, everything I found out about her made me like her more. I looked up the meaning of the name Leah, because that's what you do when you have a crush on someone named Leah. And it turns out it means weary. Weary, and I was laughing and laughing. I mean, this is too perfect. She was my weary angel. And my mom was like, do you talk to her outside of French class? But who cares? See, this is what my mom didn't get. I mean, this was fine. I mean, I had 4 years to talk to her. I mean, 2 minutes a day for 4 years. That's what I was planning. I figured we'd be super close after that. There's no need to rush anything. I mean, I didn't know if she liked me, honestly. I mean, she was nice to me, but that doesn't mean she likes me. How do I? Because we sat next to each other in assembly too, and she never talked to me. But there was one assembly toward the end of the year, really boring assembly. Someone was giving a speech about how he had to learn to read as an adult. And he was going on and on about how he'd have to read children's books, and he kept forgetting the simplest words. And we're all sitting there yawning. And in the middle of it, at one point, all of a sudden, I became aware that Leah had fallen asleep and was resting her head on my shoulder. And I froze. I mean, I can't move. This is like if a baby falls asleep leaning against you. I mean, there's no way you're going to disturb this. And I'm thinking, oh my God, she likes me. And I'm sitting here like this. And meanwhile, the guy is still blabbing about how he would practice reading street signs. And I'm just, I don't want this to end, but I can't sit like this forever. After about 10 minutes, Leah woke up. And I look over at her and she's staring like this. And I realized she's embarrassed. She's embarrassed. So I never mentioned it. I knew I wasn't going to mention it. But I'm thinking, what the heck is going on here? Every time I interact with this girl, she's asleep. I have to have a real conversation with her. But I was so shy. I didn't know what to say to her. I mean, how do I talk to her? I don't know anything about her. All I know is that she likes to procrastinate. I was the one procrastinating. Every day I would say, okay, tomorrow I'm going to have a real conversation with her, but I wouldn't do it. And then every day I kept putting it off. Finally, it was the last day of school. And I said, I absolutely have to have a conversation with her, because it's going to be 3 months before I see her again. And honestly, I didn't know how I was going to get through these 3 months without her. I mean, I saw her every day. She made me happy. So I caught up to her at the exit as she was leaving. And I said, yeah, and she's like, oh, hi, Philip, so cute. And I said, Leah, are you taking French class next year? And she said, I'm not coming back to this school next year. I don't like the people. And I think she saw how hurt I was when she said that, because then she goes, not you, you were very nice. But she didn't realize why I was so upset. I thought I had 4 more years to get to know her. All of a sudden, I'm saying goodbye to her for the last time. And I wanted to tell her, you're the sweetest person I know. I admire you so much. But I was gonna cry, and all I could say to her was, you were very nice too. And then all of a sudden she goes, well, shake my hand. And by now I'm so confused. I don't know what's going on anymore. But I shook her hand. It was very warm. And then she left. She left. And I was back at home now for the whole summer with nothing but a ceiling full of origami ornaments in my room and my yearbook with her picture in it. Her smirky Mona Lisa picture. And every day for weeks, I would take this yearbook and prop it up on my desk and just stare at her beautiful smile until I started to cry. And finally I said, I can't keep this yearbook anymore. I have to get rid of it. It's making me too sad. I didn't want to throw it out in the kitchen where my mom would see it. So I put it in a black hefty bag and I walked about a mile down the road. And in a rusty trash can at the corner of Roberts Avenue and Broadway, I threw out my beautiful picture of Leah. Thank you.
Oh. Yes.
Oh man. You're killing me, Phil. That was so sweet. And it's so I broke with you.
Well, she was so cute. Definitely one of the cutest girls I've ever met.
God, we're rooting for you every step of the way. I can see it in everyone's faces here in the group. Also, Weary Angel, best name for a 2000s emo band you've ever heard. It's like, what do you listen to, man? Evanescence, My Chemical Romance, Weary Angel. It's
got a little Weary Angel on the boombox. Yeah.
Oh, the boombox makes it better. Anyway, so Phil, tell us about yourself. Where can people find you? Do you have anything coming up that you want to share?
Well, I'll be at the Actuarial Society meeting on Monday. No, I'm just kidding. I'm keeping on working on stories. If you take an improv class at Magnet, an elective, I'll probably be in it because I can't stop signing up for those things. And, what can I say? I love performing with you guys. You're wonderful. You're awesome. Magnet people are the best people. The best people. And thanks so much for having me.
We've loved having you. Thank you. One more time for Phil, everybody.
Woo, yeah.
All right, guys, we're almost getting to the end of the show, but it got a little bit of housekeeping to take care of. If you want to find out more about Awkward Teenage Years, here's how you do it. First of all, you can follow us on Awkward Teenage Years. It's just at Awkward Teenage Years on Facebook and Instagram. We are also on Twitter. That occasionally gets some follows. But I believe it's octeen years. Am I right, Phil? Or not Phil? Am I right, Will?
Yeah, that's right. Octeen years. I'll put that in the chat.
Octeen years. Yeah, we'll fix that. We'll fix it in post. Anyway, and then we are always looking for new storytellers to feature on this show. Storytellers from all walks of life, from all orientations and identities and everyone. We want to hear your teen stories. So email us your pitches at awkwardteenageyears@gmail.com. Just 2 or 3 sentences that gives us the nutshell version of your stories. And we'd love, we could possibly have you on in the future on this very show. Now, if you want to see past shows, you can find us on YouTube. We have our entire archive of all the live shows that we have done over the past year. Just go on YouTube, search just search Awkward Teenage Years. I'm falling apart. And then we will, and you can find full shows. You'll be able to watch this show for the next 2 weeks here on Twitch, and then that will eventually move over as well. So check us out, give us a follow, share your teen stories with us. We want to hear them. All right, we're down to our final storyteller of the evening. Last but not least, another very special guest. She is a comedian of many talents. She hosts 2 virtual storytelling shows called Truth Tellers and I Promise This Is Funny. I love that title. She is the author of a book called Vagina Strong that is now available on Amazon. You can also find out what's going on by following her website at CecilyAlexandria.com, where you can subscribe to her bi-monthly newsletter. We're excited to have her. Give it up for Cecily Alexandria.
Yay for me. Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to tell my story. So I have 2 older brothers, and me and the middle brother had extra teeth in our mouths and just dental issues and whatever. And my oldest brother had never just needed the cleaning and that's it. So when I was in 8th grade, going into 9th grade, it was time to go to the orthodontist. And the orthodontist said, listen, you got to get some surgery done. So it wasn't really a big deal. They cut my tongue because it was connected too far up. And they took out some teeth. And then after that, I actually went to church that night because it was it was Vacation Bible School, and I was just probably a little too hype about it. And I had gauze in my mouth and just actually bleeding from my mouth. But I ended up getting my braces on, and it was fine. I always wanted to get braces because some of the cool kids had braces and I wanted to be a cool kid. So I got my braces on, and at the time they had different color. I had the actual they cement the wire, they cement the little brackets on, and then they put the wires on, and you have to come in once a month to have them change it out. But you could choose your colors. So I had school spirit, I had glow in the dark, all kinds of different fun things going on in my mouth. And so I had these braces on from the beginning of 9th grade to senior year. So I had them on for 4 years, which felt like a lot. And around when I got to my junior year, my mom and I moved from Ohio to Hilton Head, South Carolina, and I had to get to another orthodontist. And before I left, the orthodontist in Ohio was like, you should be almost ready. Like, you still need them on, but you're almost ready. So when I got to South Carolina, they said, you still need them on, but you're almost ready. So then I got uh, to senior year, and they do senior pictures early. So, like, right before your senior year starts, they do class pictures and all this stuff. So all of my senior pictures, I have braces on, and I really didn't care. Like, I was very nonchalant about like my whole life at that point. So I was just like, I mean, it's fine. So I get to about the middle of my senior year, and the orthodontist is like, yeah, it's almost time. Like, next month, you should be good. So every time we went, my mom had to pay, I don't know, like a decent amount of money because it's not all covered in insurance and all of that. So then it started to become a thing. So every month they would be like, you don't seem ready yet. Like, come back next month and you'll get them off next month. So this happened about 3 times. My mom had been paying, and it was so disappointing because I wanted it done. Like, I'm over it. I've had my moment with my braces and it is time. So I the last time I was like, you know what? I don't want to keep doing this. So I had remembered that when there have been times when I have broken my braces. So I would have to go in and they would have to like re uh, cement and stuff. Um, and one of those times, for whatever reason, was because I like chewed on a water bottle. And so I remembered this. And so I decided I'm going to take my braces off. I know how to do it, I know how to get them off. Let's just go ahead, do it myself. So I actually told my mom, and she was like, that's fine. Like, she was over it as well because she's paying out of pocket for these, like, my teeth look like this. So it's time. So I I really think it's a Dasani like water bottle. It was either Dasani or Aquafina because it had the blue stuff on it. So I took the water bottle, and the ridges have like, it's just enough room for you to get in between the bracket and the with the water bottle, and then you have enough leverage to just pop it off. Um, so I just went to town one night and just started chomping this on this water bottle and took off all of my braces, top and bottom, and except for the back molars because they're wrapped around my teeth. So I didn't get those off. And I had cement still on my teeth. I was like scraping those for months. And I finally went to the dentist and failed to mention that I had taken off my braces. So she's like, what is on your teeth? And she really did a great job at getting the cement off of my teeth. And I never went back to the orthodontist, like, never went back. So I actually went to the dentist last week, and the dentist was like, oh, you have beautiful teeth. but they noticed that the bottom teeth are a little crowded. And they're like, did you have braces? And I was like, yeah. They were like, do you still wear your retainer? And I was like, well, I took them off myself. So no, I don't wear the retainer. And that's when their head exploded. And they were like, oh my gosh. So I told them the story. And you know what? I really, like, whenever I've told this story, people kind of freak out. They're amazed, shocked, and amazed. And this is one of the very few times where I'm just like, I just did what I had to do. So that's my story. Thanks for listening.
Oh, that was, I gotta tell you, we have not had many dental stories on this show. And I think I've learned how I feel about it, because like, I'm just like, oh no, don't do it. Don't do it. Oh, wow.
You know, take power in your hands. Just take them off.
Yeah.
You were determined though. You went for it. You were ready.
Mm-hmm. I was.
Oh wow. What a great story to go out on here. Cecily, any plugs you want to give? Where can people find you? How can people follow you?
Yeah, I'm on Instagram and Twitter and all of that under @Cecily the Great. And you can check my website, CecilyAlexandria.com, and get all the other stuff there. So,
wow. This is one of the most memorable stories we've had on the show. For me, this is going to haunt me for a while. But
I do want to say, take off your own braces. Just kids, go for it.
No, kids, look at me. You talk to your dentist. Anyway, all right, everybody, we've reached the end of the night. We've been so thankful to do this for a year with you. And hopefully one day soon, we're going to get to do it for you in person. And all your questions will be answered. How tall is Will? Am I wearing pants? We'll find out soon. For now, thank you for watching Awkward Teenage Years. We'll see you at the next one. Here's to many more shows. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.